Thank you, sir. Good evening, everyone. It is Tuesday, May 3rd at 7 p.m., and I'm calling the Village of North Hudson Regular Board of Trustee meeting to order. Short invocation. Father, grant us and all elected officials guidance, wisdom, and discernment to make decisions, sound decisions in our daily tasks. Roll call.
Here.
Trustee Merrell, absent. Trustee Nelson,
Here.
Trustee Noonan,
Here.
Trustee Pike,
Here.
President Wecken,
Here.
Trustee Zeiss.
Here.
Thank you. And just FYI, Trustee Merrill is fulfilling her duty with the Air Guard that she's still a member of after being her time with the Army Air Service. So she will be back on Thursday, and we'll have filled that training. Item
Not
2.
even a playoff game.
Review and approve minutes from regular board meeting of 29 March and the reorg meeting of April 19th.
Move to approve both.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Is there any discussion, corrections, or amendments to the minutes of either meeting? Hearing none, all in favor of the minutes as presented, signify by saying aye.
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 Thank you. Okay, item 3, comments from the floor, opportunity for residents to make the board aware of topics, issues, opportunities, either on or not on today's agenda, and there's everyone's in the audience is on the agenda, so we'll move on to item 4, temporary class parent B / parent class B license, North Hudson Pepperfest Summer Send-Off Event, May 21st, discussion and approval requested. Is there a motion?
Stan, can I move to approve the temporary Class B fermented malt beverage and Class B wine license for North Hudson Pepperfest Inc. Summer Send-Off event on May 21st, 2022.
Thank you, Kirk. Is there a second?
I would second that.
Thank you, Amy.
Julian, do you want to step up and give us a little presentation or tell us what we got going on here, please?
Sure thing. So as you guys know, the past couple of years,
State-
Announce yourself there.
Yeah, stay tuned.
I'm Julian Hannick. I'm a member of the North Hudson Pepperfest Board of Directors, and I'm here on behalf. As you know, we've been doing the Safe Summer Send-Off we've been partnering with PTO and Neighborhood Watch for the past couple of years. We used to do our Pepperfest kickoff in May at the local establishments, but since COVID happened, it's been kind of different, and we have 2 less establishments now here in the village. So we decided to try something different a couple years ago, and it's been working out really well for all 3 of us, PTO, Neighborhood Watch, and Pepperfest. And this year, we would just like to have a bags tournament back here and rope it off and serve some beer and have some live music. So, any questions?
They'll have the gaming around here too, or will that be at the school? Or
We're going to have, PTO is going to bring some games in, Plinko, some other family fun games, and then the church is going to bring obstacle course.
okay,
We might do a maze. Not sure yet.
okay, very good. No, I just anybody got anything else?
For those listening, Julian, they're not at the exact same time. There's an overlap, correct?
We have changed it
Oh,
to
okay.
be the same time now.
Okay.
Noon to 3.
Okay,
It
so
was, we were
both-
going to overlap 2 to 5, I think it was,
Okay.
but we're just going to do the same
Gotcha.
time now. Yep.
Is there an issues from the chief on the recommendation for the liquor license?
It did go through the committee, Public Safety Committee, in approval. We had to get approval from, well, go ahead, Chief, you want to comment on the other?
I mean, I reviewed the information, but typically on a temporary license like this, I'll go through and review the beverage servers that they'll bring forward. But we did go through it at Public Safety and had some good discussion on just making sure that there are limited access to make sure that those that are 21, that's just going to be like Pepperfest where they'll get a bracelet, they'll have to be ID'd and get a bracelet, and only those people will be allowed to consume. So that was reviewed.
Excuse me, but isn't it also in a contained space,
Yeah.
unlike Pepperfest? Or is that also
Well,
changed?
Pepperfest is contained, it's just a larger space for
Okay,
Pepperfest.
it's a smaller contained space.
Correct.
Because we did discuss all that.
Yes.
Yeah, in this instance, Mary, it's going to be behind here, basically, fenced in behind our activity will be, so.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Comments? Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you, board.
Stan, I'll abstain, I'm abstain for this vote, so.
Tim's gonna abstain, yes?
Yes.
Kurt?
Oh, yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, item 5, North Hudson Elementary Fun Run, authorization to temporarily close roads around the school, approval requested. Is there a motion?
Stan, I move to authorize traffic restriction on Webster Street North from Lemon Street North to Helen Street North and Helen Street North from Webster Street North to Monroe Street North and Monroe Street North from Helen Street North to Lemon Street North. Sorry.
Doing well.
For the North Hudson Elementary School Fun Run on Friday, May 20, 2022, from 3:10 p.m. to 3:45 p.m.
Thank you,
Second
Brian.
that
Which, Amy, is that you?
motion. Amy?
Okay, thank you. Okay, any other discussion? I don't know how many, we've done this for how many years?
I think that it was 6 years before this, or before COVID hit, and then they took 2 years off, and now they're coming back. Typically, they will have an alternate rain date. This year, they've decided not to do that. So if you see this in the future, there may be an alternate rain date, but this year, they're just gonna give it a shot for that one day.
Well,
It's gone well in years past. We've had no issues. The neighbors have been great, and we're able to keep traffic off for a very short amount of time while they run around the school.
no, that's, yeah, I think it's been very successful. I mean, they've had real good luck with it. I hope they get a good day, you know, I mean, it's hit and miss this spring, that's for sure. Any other discussion? Questions? Hearing none. All in favor of the temporary closed roads around the school, signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Thank you. Item 6, preliminary resolution 2022-06, declaring intent to levy special assessment, Wisconsin Street North. Discussion and approval requested.
Stan, I move to approve resolution number 2022-06, preliminary resolution declaring intent to levy special assessments under police powers pursuant to section 66.0703 Wisconsin statutes for street and utility improvements along Wisconsin Street North between 3rd Street North to 6th Street North or 35.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Discussion? Comments? It's a typical assessment that we do anytime we do a project, I believe. And if there's no further discussion, all in favor of resolution 2206 as presented, signal of saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Oh, I didn't see item 7, preliminary resolution 2022-07, declaring intent to level special assessment, St. Croix Street North.
Stan, I move to approve resolution number 2022-07, preliminary resolution declaring intent to levy special assessments under police powers pursuant to section 66.0703 Wisconsin statutes for street improvements along St. Croix Street North between 3rd Street North and 7th Street North.
Thank you, Brian. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Is there comments or questions? Again, same type of levy assessment as we just passed. So all in favor of this, unless there's further discussion, signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Thank you. Okay, item 8, business from the board or staff, president's comments. The president's comments today are good luck to all the fishermen that will be going out for the new open season of freshwater fishing in the state of Wisconsin starting this Saturday. Hope they have a safe, successful season. And on Sunday, I'm sure everybody is pretty much aware. I'd like to wish all the mothers a very happy Mother's Day. And I hope it's a very pleasant day for everyone. And then also for May, I ask to please remember all the fallen servicemen and women on the Memorial Day. This is to honor the fallen soldiers that did not make it home. The VFW and American Legion usually have a very nice program service at both St. Pat's Cemetery and the Willow River Cemetery and that will be on the traditional Memorial Day since it falls on the Mondays, on Monday this year. So I hope people can come out and support those that are out there and to honor the fallen. And it is a really good day, and they do rain or shine because we've had umbrellas up there more than once. So be prepared, and I hope you'll join us. Melissa?
Nothing from me tonight.
Okay. No elections. How about that?
No, nope.
All righty. Well, the next item is Plan Commission, and they did not meet. 10 is Personnel Finance Committee recommendations, claims approval requested. Is there a motion?
And can I move to approve the May 2022 non-recurring claims of $89,760.87?
Thank you, Kirk. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Brian. Discussion?
Melissa, anything out of the ordinary?
No, there's just the first half of our bond payment is a larger number. The Highway 35 project continuing expenses, and then our insurance renewals are the larger numbers.
Thank you.
So there's a claim that I haven't seen before, looks like a law firm, Von Briesen.
That they are our HR attorney. So if we have HR questions, issues, that's who we have.
Okay.
Okay.
It's-
Any other discussion on that? Hearing none. Let's see, that's a claim. So, Mary?
Yes.
Amy?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
And yes.
Thank you. Okay, item B, request from City of Hudson regarding remaining funds in former EMS fund, discussion and possible approval. Is there a motion?
Stand out of the Finance Committee, we had a motion. The motion is to transfer the remaining EMS funds to Hudson Area Joint Fire District Capital Fund with the note of the village receiving detailed costs of the CAD dispatch system and details of closing out of the number of outstanding EMS billings.
Thank you, Tim. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Kirk. Discussion. Well, this is since St. Croix, even just for history for you and for folks on that might be watching the program, everybody's aware that we changed EMS services a couple of years ago. There was quite a considerable balance of money that to pay for outstanding things that they've pared down over the years to pay the bills, and they're getting to the point now where they were comfortable enough to say, okay, we've got to have an extra this much money. I mean, and at the Joint Fire Advisory Committee that I sit on, it was discussed and asked that, well, since this is already an EMS, as far as emergency and, the police and fire are emergency, management system. So everybody was pretty much in consensus that if we leave it in there, because Hudson is they're going to need another fire truck within a year or two. And this is going to be designated for the fire truck, which if we didn't have the fund in there to pare that down, then they would come and ask for our portion to pay for their capital equipment, which we've done in the past. I mean, the talk was close to $1 million. And so if this money stays in that fund, that lowers the price of the eventual possible assessment to pay for another fire truck. I mean, at $1 million, they can bond or whatever, but it's there. It's my belief that by I think we got 11% or something of of the fire department's cost. So whatever they come in with a final number, whether it's 500K or whatever, we would possibly get 11% of that. And, so it's just, the finance committee voted that, leave it, that sum of money, leave it in their fund, because it is designated with the stipulations of the motion of, yeah, we want to know how much this, 70 to 100,000 for the CAD, that's a chunk of money. And so they will, would keep us informed of that, and when the cost of the new truck comes up, so. That's a little bit of history of the money in that fund.
So that is not the fund where our ambulance costs are coming out of, or our EMS costs are coming out of now?
There is no cost to the village for EMS now.
So
Or for ambulance, for Lakeview. Lakeview bills directly to the user. The village pays nothing to Lakeview to have that service.
So, do we know how much of this fund is the village's, like the portion of the fees that we paid for the ambulance?
Probably around 11 to, we were guessing 11 to 14%.
Yeah, 11 to 14% is what.
So it's roughly
what
around
is
60,000
our portion
Okay.
of the yearly,
Okay.
Of this remaining, yeah.
fire, department or fire fund. Town of Hudson and town of Croix also have a percentage in there, so.
Okay.
So those are the last folks involved with the,
And we talked a little bit about asking them to maybe send it to us, and then we would try to maybe collect interest or anything on it, but I mean, 60,000, so this is the easiest way. Hudson already voted yes to do it. Getting the new system for the
CAD
dispatch
system,
is
yeah.
a really good idea. It kind of gaps the break between the two phone calls, so I feel like it's just the easiest for everyone, and then we know this is going to another item that North Hudson uses or is used to help us. It's kind of just the easiest way to divvy up the rest of this fund.
Stan, did the fire commission vote on this CAD thing, or was that just the city's decision, or was that approved?
well, that was discussed, and we didn't really have, Hudson decided they were gonna try to, come to everybody for a portion of that, but then they said, well, with the money that they have, with this, and since it's already emergency services, and it will enhance the communication between our dispatch and Lakeview, which, it'll eliminate phone calls that, everybody says, well, there's a 30, 40-second gap sometimes in response, and that's about, the phone deal, so,
So they were in agreement with it?
right,
Thank you for that explanation.
no worries. Any further discussion? Okay, hearing none, let's see, I don't know if I need do I need a roll call over that? What was that?
Ask the guy to your left.
Huh?
Ask the guy to your left.
I think we did do roll call.
we did.
Yeah, well, I mean, I didn't know if it was up to speed where we were.
Do a roll call, you can't go wrong.
Yes.
Okay,
Right.
all right, Tim?
Yes.
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 Yes,
Yes,
Yes.
thank you. I should have known that. See, you came in just in time, Paul.
Yep.
Welcome.
Thank you, I'm sorry I'm late.
No worries.
Hung up at the township.
I'm happy to see you're here. Okay, let's see, and then that brings us to Public Works. Brian?
Stan, we did meet, we had a public information meeting that Kevin, our engineer, helped explain the Wisconsin Street project. We had one person, I think, from the village here that had some questions. And I think the meeting went well. The estimated completion date is 7/28. And as everybody knows, everything depends on weather. And we're hoping that that project keeps moving. We're talking also about the St. Croix Street project that we have another grant for, and we're just waiting on more information and timing. I did ask the question, are they both going to be running at the same time, and we're going to try not to make that happen. And then we welcome Jen Merrell to the Public Works Board, who could not be here tonight, but that was fun. We are waiting on more quotes still for the control panels that we need to replace, and that's all I have.
Thank you, Brian. Tim, Public Works or Safety?
Public Safety did meet, and we have one motion. It's based off of that Wisconsin Street North construction project. Stan, I move to prohibit parking on both sides of 7th Street North between 4th Street North and Galahad Road North, and both sides of Galahad Road North between Summer Street North and Wisconsin Street North for the duration of the detour caused by the Wisconsin Street North construction project in 2022.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Is there comments or questions?
I noticed the parking signs up, Chief, and they park on the street right in front of the parking signs.
I have had some issues, and we've been trying to, a lot of it is related to the construction going on, and so
Yeah.
the construction workers, a lot of times because the roads that go to that construction are mud or whatnot, they're trying to find alternate locations. But we've been working with them to try to get them off the roads. It's a temporary parking until you all decide to make this final. The one thing that Patrick and I had a discussion about is we do have, historically in the past, I worked with Public Works. If someone calls in and they have a graduation party and they live on Galahad Road, we oftentimes will make one side of Galahad Road no parking for that weekend and then for that event to make sure that there's good flow through there and allow people to park on basically the east side where there's limited driveways. We have already had one request. There's a set of triplets that graduate this year, and they're looking at, was it the end of June or sometime in June? So I'm not sure with this resolution or with this motion, it prohibits parking, but I guess maybe if we could check with the board. Our idea was that we'll kind of see how things are moving, if we have good flow through there, in order to maybe make an approval for that. But I don't know that there will be enough time to let it go before the next board meeting to give authorization for any temporary limitations, or exemptions for those graduation parties, just because it's kind of limited. Now, we know it's only till the end of July. The project is supposed to go till July 28th, I think you said. But it sounds like this party, they're trying to plan before. So just something to consider, and we can always come back to you, but Patrick and I have already been approached to try to, allow some parking for a period of time. So if you're okay with it, he and I will just monitor kind of the flow and the volume, and then make some decisions closer to their requested date.
Well, and I'm sure the graduation party being a weekend when we don't have much construction going on, so is there maybe more or less traffic?
There may
Probably
be, and
less
we may be able to work with the contractor too on that particular day to get some temporary, movement through that space. So, just wanted to make you aware of it, just in case there's some people that come forward
absolutely.
and see
Thank you.
parking.
Anybody else?
Well, we meet in June, right? Their graduation, I think, is after that date of our next board meeting.
Remember what the request was, Patrick? What date?
I'm
I'm trying to remember what the date was.
Our meeting's June 7th.
yeah, I think it's,
The weekends are 4, 11, 18, and 25.
So we can bring it back and maybe request an exemption for that particular date and time too.
just another further discussion on it. If it's going well, then we could, yeah,
Right.
definitely.
No, that sounds good. Anything else? Hearing not, all in favor of the motion to approve the parking restrictions, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
Jim, did you want to bring
Third,
up
public
the
welfare.
thing, or are you going to wait on that?
No, I do want to talk about this, and I'm not sure if you have it in front of you.
I don't,
Apologize.
unfortunately, no.
No, well, one thing we are going to bring back to the board, and I just want to bring it up now because this came out of public safety before you go on to the next agenda item. Our officer, pardon me?
I was just going to say it's kind of part of the chair update as far
It
as that
is,
goes.
part of the chair update.
Yep. No,
We had a breakdown of our detail. You want to give the history on as far as what your officer had
Yeah,
performed there?
so Sergeant Hecht is the first one that has had the hybrid squad car, and so we had picked that up back in June, I believe it was, and so we worked, Sergeant Hecht worked with Nathan, the treasurer, on trying to put together some numbers to determine, what the cost savings is on fuel for utilizing that vehicle versus the other ones that are all fuel. And so he put together a really nice spreadsheet with numbers. It's part of the public safety packet if you need it, or if you need it, I can forward it as well. but he projected that if we have all hybrid squads in our fleet, that we would save right around $3,300 a year on fuel costs. And so our next squad already has been approved for a hybrid, and so we're going to look forward to that and keep track of some of the other expenses if there are any. But at this point, it looks like if that's the case, the amount the amount more that it is to get a hybrid basically is made back in 1 year. So we cover the cost, that extra cost to go to a hybrid, and then every year after that, usually we keep them 6 to 8 years, depending on how much usage it gets, that we're saving that amount of money on fuel. So I think it's a good program to continue with, but we'll continue to monitor those numbers, and it came down to a price per gallon, or per mile. I mean, I think it was like 16 cents a mile for the hybrid and 20-some cents a mile.
24 cents, yeah, like 8 cents.
The fuel.
Yeah, it's a nice Excel breakdown of all the costs and everything that they broke it out. It was really nice and detailed, and I think it shows that the savings is definitely there. So, yep. I just wanted to bring it back to the board for your information. Of course, if you need more, we have it, so.
Good to hear.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay. Anything else from the chair update?
No, thank you,
Okay,
sir.
that's-
Sorry about
No
that.
worries. You threw me a curve when you went to motion.
Yeah,
before
I
the
know.
update. Sorry
Sorry.
about that. Let's see, Kirk, public welfare.
We did not meet, but we are gonna get to meet to go over garbage again, so that's exciting.
Yeah, there was some discussion about
Mm-hmm.
that. Okay, how about park board?
We did meet, but no real chair update.
Nothing to bring forward? Okay, let's see. Do we have anything for closed?
I would like to talk.
Okay, so if there's a motion to go into closed session, say.
Stan, I motion to go into closed session.
Thank you, Kirk. Is there a second?
I second that. Noonan?
Amy. And so all in favor of going into closed session, signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, we are in closed session.
We're back in.
We're back in open session. There's nothing from the closed session that we voted on or did anything with. So with that, I will declare this meeting adjourned at 8:05.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.